All right. Friday strength component. Once again, we've got 5 movements to break down here. First one, a barbell reverse lunge. Now, this does not have to be performed with a barbell. You can simply do this with dumbbells down by your side. You can hold them up on the front rack, whatever's comfortable for you, okay? And this isn't a movement to force with weight if you struggle to do with a body weight. You need to perfect this body weight, make it effortless before you even try this with weight. I'm gonna pull this from the floor, make it a little easier for me for filming. Highly recommend doing this from the rack. Now, first of all, let's talk about your feet positioning. What sounds like it's gonna give you better balance? Being on a tightrope or being on a pair of train tracks? I'll tell you, it's the train tracks. Make this easier by setting yourself up for success. I'd say 85% of people just line up straight. Feet are almost in a straight line. That's really hard to balance. Find proper balance and go from here. Now, what I want you to do here is hit the same leg for all your reps and then the other side. Purposely doing that to wear out and activate that one side first before you switch. Step back, remember, railroad track, not a tightrope. If you have the range of motion, we gently tap the floor and come back up, but we're not resting. If you have to rest on the floor, shorten your range of motion. If you just go to about right here, that's perfectly fine. I'd rather you stop yourself than having to just completely put your knee on the ground and resting. Now let's talk about how you actually get up. We want your front leg doing the work. Your front leg pulls you forward. We're not pushing off the back leg. That's there for stability and balance, but it's your front leg that's activating right here in the glute to pull you up into position. After that, some Polican step-ups. Hooray for knee health, right? If you are an individual who has knee pain, going up and down stairs, your everyday life, this is a drill for you. Elevating yourself, ideally. If you need to go from the floor, you can, but ideally we're elevated. The higher the surface will make this a little harder. The lower the surface makes it a little easier. Leg is out straight. At no point am I putting my weight on this leg. I'm stepping down, all controlling with the left leg here in the back, till I tap the floor and drive back through the plate. Depending on your ankle mobility, your ankle may need to come up a little bit. If that's the case, I recommend putting some sort of wedge right here to give you a little bit more support. Now, this isn't a balancing drill either. If you're fighting for balance, set up to where you can have yourself supported with something. Once again, you can make this more challenging by making the surface a little taller. Don't need to go crazy on the height. Or you can hold like a dumbbell or kettlebell. Big focus. Knee is going directly over the toe. We want to make sure it's not wavering in or out. Stay directly over the toe. From here, AHP split stance, single arm row. It's a mouthful. Once again, with all of our AHP movements this cycle, the focus is getting to a 90-degree position, eccentrics, and an isometric hold. With this split stance, once again, do you want to be on a tightrope or train tracks? Get your train tracks. We're sitting down into a split stance, not a lunge. You're not coming forward. Weight should be evenly distributed between the front and your back legs. Get a little better view here. Sitting down. The tempo here is 1 second pull up, boom, a 3-second hold, 1, 2, 3, and 3 seconds down, 1, 2, 3. Notice my head naturally was here. We don't want to do that. We want to pull back and up, and we really focus on engaging our lat. That's where we flex. That's where we squeeze and pull, flex, squeeze this for 3, 2, 1, keep it engaged as you lower. 3, 2, 1. We're really trying to exaggerate using our lats, using the muscles in our back, not just yanking up and down with the arm. We also want to focus, keep that engagement in your core, belly button pulled in, glutes engaged. All about having the entire body active, contracting our muscles, being strong. Next, our seated internal. Oh, can I get it? There we go, found it. Our seated, this one is also a mouthful. Internal hip rotation and isometric adduction. Isometric adduction is holding the yoga block in between and squeezing. We're getting abduction in our thighs, or isometric holding the whole time. Next, first I actually recommend getting this in place. Now, my hip rotation ain't the best, so the range of motion isn't going to be that far. That's okay. What we're looking for, we should have external rotation in our right in this hip. You'll see the foot is going to go out, and it's going to stay there the whole time. Once again, that's not me moving my foot. That's me intentionally, internally rotating the hip, causing the foot to go out, and it holds. From there, we allow the band to kind of pull you over, and then we're going to find that internal rotation on this side to get the band to pull out. We release, internally rotate the hip. Once again, my range of motion is not that far. The guy I got this from, his foot came like all the way up here. This is tough. It's a tough part of the body to intentionally activate. It's a very neglected part of the body as far as trying to strengthen it up. I think this is where mobility and strength training kind of meet. Be patient with it. You should really feel this in the hips kind of burning. Just make sure we're not leaning all over the place. Stay still. And our last one, leaning towers. This is actually part of a Turkish get-up. Just one small segmented piece of it. What she looks like, we're gonna take a knee. Arm above head. And then I'm gonna lean to the side, trying to get my palm flat to the ground. And then from here, I lift up using the core. You'll notice right before I let my hand come off the ground, and then I pull myself up with the core. Do that intentionally because the body has a remarkable way of figuring out a way to make things easier, even if you're not really trying to do that. A lot of people I notice, once again, they don't do this intentionally, but they push off the floor with their hand, and it helps them come up. That's why we really want to focus on not doing it. Now, we're looking for a tempo here. 3 seconds down. 1, 2, 3. Drive up. As you go down, you're looking up at the hand. Hip. You need to make sure your hip is jutting out to the opposite side. That's what causes you to go down. You're pulling this hip out and away, causing the torso to lean over. Big cheat, a lot of people do. Once again, this is the positioning we're looking for. A lot of people do this. They sit back and down, don't realize they're doing it completely wrong. So things to focus on here. Now, if you can get your palm to the floor, you can add some weight, make it more challenging. But if you cannot get your palm to the floor, don't bother. You don't need weight. You need to work on strengthening your range of motion first. A lot of you won't be able to do that. That's fine. If you can't reach the palm, let's go knuckles. Doesn't seem like much, but that's a big difference in the distance that you're going. Knuckles and come up. If we struggle there, fingertips. That just shortens the range of motion a little bit, and we use the core to rotate you back up. Once again, until, no weight, until you can get your palm to the floor with just your arm above head. Once you can do that comfortably, you can start testing it out with weight.